Good morning. This is Lula Grace, and it's such a fantastic, fabulous, exciting, breathing moment because it's morning, because it's such a wonderful time to just be alive. Can you feel that new energy, that new excitement that's just bubbling all around us, just saying, wake up, it's time. It's like the birds are starting to fly around. It's like the trees are starting to blossom, and yet there's still snow, and yet there's still this going on, and still this going on. It's like a chaotic smorgasbord of things for us to partake of right now. It's an opportunity to pick up one event with another event, with another event, bring them into us. Because as we take in this smorgasbord of life with our limitless souls, wow, get ready for explosions. It's time to come more into you. Now, today, I want to talk about families. Boy, touchy subject, and I can already feel it. And that's okay, because families are touchy subjects. But as we stop to look at them, as we start to hold compassion for some of this dysfunction. Now, some families, boy, they think they're perfect. They've got it all together. Good for them. Mine happens to have been dysfunctional. Very, very dysfunctional. But I still loved them in spite of the dysfunctions. Now, how do you love somebody in spite of the dysfunctions? Now, some people's brains would go spiteful. Some people's brains would go, but mine goes to a love of truth. Because as you start to hold that compassion, as you start to see who you truly are from within, the family's dysfunction starts to fade away. You can start to see a person for who they are because they are dysfunctional. That explains it all. Now, there's a new term out that the psychologists and psychiatrists are starting to use, and it's that when you walk into a room, you can actually feel that negative energy, and that negative energy makes you sick. How many times have you walked into a room or into a store, into a family function, and it's not all about families, because the issue here is sometimes we think everybody is family, and so we lose the respect. We become disrespectful. We think they understand. We think. No, it's time to start to connect that little heartstring back up to another part in our mind where we start to recognize family. Great. You get to love them, you get to accept them, you get to be a part of them, but you also get to recognize what the energies do to you. Because if these energies are making you sick, is it not time to set a stronger boundary? Is it not time to go deeper into oneself? Now, if you've been taught since you were little, since something happened, it doesn't matter. You have connected in an arc of non-functional energy. So today we're going to start to clear off some of this non-dysfunctional energy. We don't need it anymore. We're going to start to change what we are doing, and we are becoming a team that is lasered for action, a team that is lasered for new intelligence, a team that is ready to wake up, take action, and find itself. It's not about becoming family, becoming, oh, you're a part of me, you're a part of me. I had a client that came, very, very successful businesswoman. However, as she started to discuss There was so much codependency, so much dysfunction, and her team was not showing up. All of a sudden, they were beginning to be a little slothful. Oh, I'll be a minute or two late. Oh, I'm not noticed, so it doesn't matter if I don't get this done today. Can you see how when you're part of a team, you need to be running smoothly? Everyone needs to do their part, but first you get to show up. Now, how do you show up? By showing up, it means you are dressed, you are ready, you are happy, and you desire to be there. Now, if you don't desire to be at your job, maybe every once in a while it's okay. But if you don't desire to be at your job, then what's the dysfunction? What are you bringing along with you from the past that you're not seeing? It's time to release this past, come into our own power, and walk our own space. How do you walk your own space? You walk your own space by becoming you, by holding you accountable, by holding action, by holding others out, others' beliefs, others' things that they're trying to make you into. Now, everybody's always thinking, I'll change that person. I've even thought, oh, okay, I can change that person. No. Only you, only them can change themselves. And as you recognize that, how much more energy are you going to have? Now, as I worked with this client and we pointed it out, and we started to change her vision of her teammates, because they were not her family. Family, yeah, they just have a way of worming in. But still, we need to start to hold them out also. Because as you see the dysfunction, what dysfunction, maybe from your ancestors, maybe from your sister. My sister has Alzheimer's. Very dysfunctional. She doesn't know a lot. She doesn't remember a lot. Now, I could go in and try to save her. However, she made that choice years ago. When we were abused, she chose not to open and speak about it. Oh, not me. I had to scream and holler a little bit. Then it was the blame game. She wanted to blame me because it happened to her, not knowing that it happened to me also. So sometimes family members have a dynamic with us that as we sit back and look, they are creating their lives. They are creating their experiences. I don't choose to be a part. I can hold compassion. I can hold the bright memories, but I don't choose to live in that negative energy that would make me sick. I choose to live my life with my own power, to set my own boundaries, to feed my brain positive, loving kindness. Because sometimes our families feed us negative. And how many times does your heart need to hear that same experience? How many times do we need to search for it more and more in our lives until it becomes an Alzheimer's? It becomes so overwhelming, it shuts you down. So many people live a dying moment throughout the day. Is it not time to wake up and live our living moments with who we truly are, to find our own strength, our own courage, to walk our own paths from our own heart paths? As you find your own heart path, then you become a team member. Now, I have become a team member with my sister. How did I do that? I can go to visit her. I can hold her space. I can look into her eyes. I can love her. I can love her with no judgment, no shame, no guilt. Because I chose this. I chose to learn how to hold space. I chose to learn compassion. Now, don't get me wrong. My sister lived a fantastic life. I mean, she was service. She's gone through some horrific experiences. For some reason, our family was just handed these. She lost 2 sons. Her husband had a heart attack and was killed in a car wreck. I mean, horrific experiences. But we are all handed horrific experiences. What do we choose to do with them? As you choose to become a team member, get out of this family for just a moment and become that team member. What is your part? What is your action? Because as you find your team member action, you find that strength and that courage to face who you truly are. We will realize the importance of our voices, no longer to be silenced. As you find your own voice, you start to feed your brain from your heart and your heart to your brain, so it becomes a team member together. There won't be the white chatter. There won't be all of this negativity, because we are programming you to be you. Now, isn't that interesting that you have to program yourself to be you? Because we've been so dysfunctional in so many things. It's time to find the function and walk your own truth. Walk who you truly are. Not walk around like a zombie, not following people, but knowing with a surety the message you have to give. And what is your importance in being a team member with self? Because as this team member starts to grow, you start to grow. You start to learn so much more because you're an open vessel to learn about this higher intelligence, about this new crystal bed that's just come on the market. You will be ready to search because you're searching from within. You're searching as a team member. How many times do we want to play victim? I know there was times in my life I wanted to play victim. Even every once in a while now, I'll tell my daughter, I need a victim moment. And I recognize it. I sit down, I cry, I feel sorry for myself, and then it's over. It maybe in the past would have been a day, maybe a week, maybe a month. Not now. Maybe now it's about 5 minutes, because I recognize myself as a team member. I don't get to bring in that past, but as the past, maybe a past vision, maybe a past experience flips into my mind, I hold it there. I don't try to push it away. I hold it with compassion, with action, because this action, as I look at it, sets me free. It sets me free because I'm not afraid of it. It's not something that I'm ashamed of. It's not something that I need to grieve over anymore, because I recognize gratitude. Gratitude for me. Gratitude for my experiences in this lifetime. I desire to learn and to grow. Now, every once in a while, I'll say, okay, turn it off for just a minute. Be careful what I ask for, because when I ask, the floodgates open. The floodgates open. But I welcome them. I welcome them with a team, because I'm not alone. I am never alone. I always have myself to be with. And as you recognize this, I am not alone. I always have myself to be with. It makes it so much easier, because I am walking with myself. And as I walk with myself, I have the courage and the strength to look myself right in the eyes and say, okay, what you got? What you got? How are you going to take me down? What you got? And as some of those memories flood, there's a part of me that thinks, oh, that's going to take you out. No, I look it in the eyes. I welcome the experience to learn and to grow. So as we're doing our breath today, I want you to breathe in that team member, because it's exciting, because that team member will show you how to become healthier physically, how to use your intuition spiritually so you know you're on the right track, how to eat the right foods at the right time, how to experience the business that you choose to experience in such a new way, because the team member comes from within you. You alone are the boss. You alone. Nobody else can take that away from you. You are the boss of self, the boss of the team. Now, as you learn this with yourself, miracles and strange things start to happen. You may be talking to someone and you'll think, oh, this will be a good person to add to my team. And then all of a sudden your spiritual intuition is going to kick in. No, not this one. And you will not settle. You will come to a higher phase in your lifetime, because the settling will no longer happen, because you are the boss of your own team. Don't you love it? I love being the boss. I'm a Leo. I'm bossy. Ask my family. I want them to do this, this, and this. And they always say, I'm going to do it this, this, and this. And sometimes I think, but I know this. But I have this intelligence. Does it matter? No. They still want to do it their own way. And I laugh and I giggle to myself, because it's just another experience. Did I share? Of course I shared. Did they listen all the time? No. Did they listen sometimes? Of course. But I still shared. I still opened my mouth so that I could give them something. Their choice if they picked it up. Their choice if they want to change. Sometimes kind of hard when you see them go through an extra little bump, but you recognize I went through those bumps too. And no one was there to pick me up. I picked myself up. I learned how to be a team member with myself at an early age, because there was no one there to pick me up. There was no one there to walk through that with me except myself, except my team. And my team becomes stronger every day, because I learn more and more every day about the world, but more about myself. Because as I learn about myself, I recognize, wow, you are powerful. Wow, you do take action. Wow, you are following your word. Wow, quite a team. So in our breathing today, I want you to breathe in team. Just breathe in the word team and see what happens. And I'm going to start to send some new energies so you have that power of being a team member. Now, it could be after you've done this, you're going to experience some aha moments, maybe a memory. It doesn't matter. Sit with it and look it straight in the eyes, what you got today. Because I'm not going down. Feel your own courage. Feel your own pathway. We have all been so shut down with beliefs, with you have to do this, you got to do it this way. No more. Take off the chains. Be you. You are the only one that can lead that pathway. You. Now think of all these billions of people, ancestors, the ones on the earth today, futures. You are the only one that can make your own footprints. No one else can do it for you. No one. You are your own team. So breathe in that team, that word. Just breathe it in and see how it feels. See how it starts to bring up a new awareness of who you truly are. So here we go. Breathe however you want. I like the breath that pushes out and expands to my sides. And in that pause, breathe in that team. And that team is within you. You're not going to get it out here. You're going to get it in here with those little heartstrings as we connect more and more our heartstrings to our mind. So here we go. Take a breath. Pause. Team. Maybe it's got a little song to it. Maybe it's got a little tone to it. Maybe it's got a little girl's voice. Maybe a little boy's. Doesn't matter. Let it sing. Let it be team. Because it's bringing parts of you to the table so you can sit with your own team. Release. Breathe in again. Pause. And team. Team. Think of a football team. Think of a football coach. Think of a classroom. Think of a teacher. Teachers are coaches. Have you ever had good teachers? What did they teach you about becoming a part of a team? How are you seen? How are you appreciated? How are you made unique? Were you ever? If not, it's time, because we're bringing in this uniqueness of team, the uniqueness of you. We're dropping away that family that keeps you stuck, and bring in that team of who you truly are. And release. Now, it doesn't mean that family isn't important. It doesn't mean we're going to cut them off. But you're going to start to recognize if one walks into the room and if they're feeling negative, you're not going to pick up that negativity. You will stay neutral. You will stay in line. Okay, so bring that in. Team. Team. Let those emotions come up. Boy, I can feel those emotions coming up. Woo! Team. It's setting you free to be your own unique selves, to see how special and precious you really are. There's no one else like you. Can you imagine shaking your own hand to say, hello, it's so nice to meet you, and release. It is so nice to meet you. We don't take the time to meet ourselves, to meet the parts of the team that we take for granted. We don't get to take ourselves for granted anymore. We start to bring in this positive team of action to become and to walk and to visit and to laugh and to hold this higher intelligence. So many people live in survival. We don't have to live in survival. We can live each precious moment with ourselves as we become our own team members. Yay! I had a really neat experience the other day. I was a drum majorette. I could twirl that baton like crazy. I could throw it in the air. I could catch that. I could raise my legs. Oh my gosh. I thought I was hot stuff. So the other day, I put on a pair of my work boots from the prison. Now, they're big old clunker boots. And so as I put these boots on, I have new hardwood floors in my living room. Guess what it reminded me of? All of a sudden, I was prancing around in this house like I hadn't pranced for years, because I remembered that team member of myself that showed up to twirl that baton, to march down those roads with those great big taps on my boots. Those boots on these hardwood floors brought back that memory, and I enjoyed every second of it, because I was free to experience it in the now. I didn't have to go back. It may have came forward, but I didn't have to go back to find that. Just by that, putting on those boots on this hardwood floors, I was dancing. I was dancing with a part of my team that knew how to, maybe some would say, show off. I thought it was pretty good. It brought that sense of confidence as I was just clicking around on these hardwood floors all day. Experiences. We all are unique. We all have our moments, but live in the present moment. Because as you live in the present moment and become a team member with yourself, you will recognize when somebody comes in with negativity and starts to dump on you, starts to become an energy vampire. And you will say, no, I know who I am. I have a team member that is here that will hold my hand and help me to stay on track with who I am, with my own spiritual intuition, with my own physical awareness, with my opening up of seeing the intelligence and the safety of positive. You will and are the most unique, precious self to self. No one can change you. No one can take away your power unless you choose to give it away. Be your own team member, because that team member has the power, the knowledge, the strength, the courage to walk through any experience. You're part of my team, because as you learn how to be your own team, we can connect in the action of these recordings, of these lives. We can connect with a connection that will set us all free to be ourselves. There's not a greater gift that will ever come to you than to recognize and be yourself from within, so that all of these outside influences can no longer influence you, because you know you. Nothing more special than that. Use your breath today. Breathe in that team. That's all you have to do. Just breathe in that team and see what happens. See what comes to life. See what magic comes, just as my boots came to be magical the other day. It brought me such a reality of self-confidence. I love you all. I love you all. Lula Grace with Limitless Soul. Walk your own pathways. Be your own team. Find your own team members. Sit down at the table with them and cuss and discuss. Yeah, I said cuss and discuss. Sometimes there's a little anger. Sometimes there's a little feelings. It's you. Be you. Enjoy this beautiful day with yourself. Love you all. Until tomorrow, Lula Grace with Limitless Soul.